Here I'm going to show you how I grow store-bought ginger when I do the following. Hi everybody, it's Robbie from Southern California, and today I know a lot of you were waiting to see a certain ginger that I was growing. And here it is. You're going, what ginger is this? This ginger was store-bought ginger that I bought last year. And it had a growth inhibitor on it. I tried to grow it, it did not sprout. Remember, I put this little guy in here so we could keep track of it, and it's still green. And I just put also a little flag. And what I had to do was take it right out and soak it overnight. Now let me explain what this is all about. Most of the store-bought ginger right now, almost all of it has a growth retardant, a growth inhibitor, something like that on the ginger. If it's got that, it may or may not grow. So keep that in mind. I'm not telling you not to try, it's worth a try, but it may or may not grow. What I would do is, if you buy a piece of ginger from the store, I would put it in a cup of water. Use the cleanest water you've got, maybe bottled water, because you don't want too much chlorine. Your drinking water may have chlorine from the tap, but you can if you don't have it. Just any water, and soak it overnight. Soak it for at least 12 hours. After that, take it out of the water, rinse it really good, and then go plant it. If it had a growth inhibitor on it, then you've got a good chance that it will grow for you. And mine did, as you can see. It was 2 small pieces, I believe, and it really did take off afterwards. Now, if it wasn't a growth inhibitor and it's not growing, and it was irradiated, if it was irradiated, then it's dead. And there's no way you can get around that. It will be dead. It was basically like putting it in a microwave and cooking it. So the thing is, you will not know what and how they treated it with. Like I said, a growth inhibitor is basically a coating. It's something they put on it to stop it from trying to sprout. That you can many times be lucky enough to soak out. Is it organic? It doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. If you can get it to grow, it will grow. Like now, this is going to grow better in the spring when I put it back in a new pot, cut apart the parts I want to eat, and cut off the parts I want to grow. This is going to grow fine now. I don't have to soak it. I don't have to treat it. It's done its thing. The growth inhibitor is gone. But like I said, if it was irradiated, and it's like a lot of the purple sweet potatoes that come from Hawaii, they're all irradiated. You cannot grow them. I've actually seen people trying to sell them for people to grow. They won't grow. They will never grow. They've been cooked. They're done. They're completely done. This actually did quite well. Let's see. So in here, we just have a bunch of fine roots, loaded with earthworms. Let's see, did it come out of this pot? Came out of this pot. I got earthworms coming out the bottom. Don't go anywhere. We want all our earthworms. But this did really, really well. I'm going to put some colored leaves on the bottom of that before I load it up. Look how good this grew. I'm impressed because in the beginning it didn't want to grow. And I kind of was losing hope on it. Has a lot of little pieces too, which is interesting. This was grocery store bought ginger. A lot of people say you cannot buy it, it will not grow. Like I said, and they don't tell you, this is it. So this is all it grew. These 2 pieces came off. So maybe these 2 pieces, no, they grew. They just broke off of that. I thought I planted 2 pieces in here. So I could be wrong, maybe I only planted 1. But this is what I got out of here. I'm gonna cut this off because the green we don't need anymore. We're going to start these over. And this I'll just compost back into the pot. It will break down, the earthworms will eat it. And that is it. So, can you grow store-bought ginger? Yes, you can. I've even grown some of them that have come in here from the 99-cent store, and I've soaked those, and those were from China, and they grew too. The thing is, again, you won't know if it's a growth inhibitor put on there or if it was irradiated. They do it both ways. In the United States, they're irradiating a lot of stuff. It makes the shelf life longer. Basically, it'll last almost a year or longer because it's not going to grow and it just will eventually dry out. I've had some that have been irradiated. It will not grow. And the piece will just sit for the longest time until it completely dries out. A lot of them don't even mold or rot. They just dry out. So keep your fingers crossed if you want to try, the ginger from the store. And you can pick some up. Look for some nice ginger that looks fresh. It smells good. And then from there, you can go ahead and prepare it and be ready to try to grow it in some potting soil. Try it in a pot. But again, I definitely would soak it at least 12 hours overnight and then get it in the ground. Look how nice this did. So this is the store-bought ginger that you would see on my garden tours. I had this stuck in there with that other little flag, and we wanted to see if it would grow, and it did pretty good. Now, this should grow much better this spring. I'm going to start it inside the house, get them planted. Like I said, take off what I want to eat, save the parts that I want to plant, put those aside, and then get them in a pot fairly soon. And as soon as the weather warms up and stays warm, I'm going to put the pots outside. So yes, you can grow store-bought ginger as long as it's been treated with a growth inhibitor and not irradiated. If you soak it and try everything and it doesn't grow, then that means it was irradiated, and it will not grow. Once it's irradiated, it will not grow. So that's it. I wanted to show you store-bought ginger that I planted, less than a year ago, probably about 8 months ago, 7 months ago, and it did quite well, and I got plenty of ginger here to eat. It was a small piece I planted, and it did quite well. Now, another note, that if you see them in the store, ginger starting to sprout, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to grow. I have tried some that had a long sprout on it, and they didn't make it. If they've been irradiated, they sometimes will start a little growth, but there's not enough life in it, and it will die no matter what you do. So the only thing you can hope for is to soak it and hope that it has a retardant on it to keep it from growing. And then you can soak that off and it will grow. But if it's been irradiated, again, it will not grow. So a growth retardant, a growth inhibitor, that can sometimes be washed off. So don't be tricked just because you see some growth on it. It doesn't mean anything. All you can do is just hit and miss. Just try it and see what happens. So with that, I hope I've answered some questions. Have a great day, and don't forget to eat what you grow. At least try. Bye-bye. I think that's it. GoPro, turn off. GoPro, turn off. GoPro, turn off.